Hello and welcome to the training video, Automating Workflows with Zapier. In this training video, I'm going to show you how you can create a basic Zap and automate some of your workflow. Whether you want to keep an eye on your inventory, monitor messages coming in from your email, or whatever live data you wish to portray on your digital signage screen, you'll be able to automate within Zapier. For this training video, I'm going to be using the example of a restaurant wanting to keep an eye on how many available tables it has. Zapier can bring in over 7,000 apps and live data. I've decided to use a simple Excel spreadsheet to write in how many available tables I have. On my Excel spreadsheet, I've listed the total number of tables available, how many tables are booked, and how many tables are available to be booked. I have then saved my Excel spreadsheet to my SharePoint. Now that my Excel spreadsheet is set up, all I need to do is move over to Zapier. Zapier enables you to create free accounts, or you can purchase one of the subscription plans. If you've never used Zapier before, I would recommend watching the how-to video. However, in this video, I am going to be taking you through a step-by-step guide on making a basic Zap. To get started, we're going to click on the Create button. We're then going to choose a Zap. If you wish to have some assistance making your first Zap, all you need to do is type in what you would like to do. Copilot will help you then create your Zap. Alternatively, you can manually create it by moving down to the trigger. You will notice that you need two elements to create a Zap. You need a trigger and an action. A trigger would be changing the data within my Excel spreadsheet. The action will be something changing on my screen. So the first thing we're going to do is set up my trigger. So if I click onto the trigger section, it will open up and it will ask me to choose where I want to bring in the source. As you can see, there are lots of different apps and tools to use. I'm going to be using Microsoft Excel. Now that I've chosen Microsoft Excel, on the right hand side of the screen, it's asking me to make some choices. The first choice I need to make is to choose an event. If I click on the event section, it opens up. It's now saying that it will poll a new row. What this means is it will be monitoring for a new row in a table, a new worksheet, or an update within a row. For this scenario, I'm going to want it to update a row. So as soon as I update my figures, it will then trigger a response. So I'm going to choose updating row. The next section would be to join your Microsoft account to Zapier. To do this, all you'll need to do is click Change and New Account. It's going to need your email and your password for your Microsoft account. I've already added mine. Now that that's done, I can click on the Continue button. Now I've got to tell the system where my Excel spreadsheet is saved. If I go to Storage Source, it's given me the choice to search on OneDrive or SharePoint. I save mine to SharePoint. I can then tell it which site within SharePoint to monitor. And you'll notice I've got quite a few different sites. So I'm going to go to my main site. It's then asking me which document library to search. And it's within my documents. It's then asking me which folder to look in. And I created a folder called APIs. It's now asking me which workbook I would like. And I've called my Excel spreadsheet tables. And then it's asking me which worksheet within tables to monitor. And it's going to be sheet 1. Last of all, it's asking me which trigger comment to monitor. Now, it can be any column, or I could be telling it to be looking at the total tables, tables booked, or tables available. For this particular scenario, I want it to be monitoring tables available. I can now click continue. Now that I've added all of the information, I can now test my trigger to make sure that I've not made any errors. At the top, I can see a tick right across each section. I can now click continue with select a record. It's now asking me to choose how I'm going to trigger my response. And in this case, it's going to be NoviSign. So if I just type into the search bar, it's then going to bring up NoviSign digital signage. If I move over to the right-hand side, it's asking me to choose an action event. And in this case, it will be to publish a new message. I now need to associate my account within NoviSign to Zapier, exactly the same as we did with Microsoft. Again, I've already assigned mine, but you can simply click Create New Account. A message will then appear asking you to add your API key. So we are going to have to go back to NoviSign to get our API key. So if we change over to NoviSign, and once we're within NoviSign, if we move over to where we see our name, click on the drop-down menu, and then if we come down to Settings, and then we've got API keys on the right-hand side here, and all I need to do is copy my API key. I can then go back to Zapier. I can again click New Account, and then all I need to do is paste that key in and continue to NoviSign digital signage. It will check the API key for me. Everything is perfect, so I'm going to click continue. Now that my account is fully paired, I'm ready to move on to the next section. The first thing to add is a channel name, and the channel name is important. Make a note of whatever you call your channel name because we're going to need it later on. In this case, I'm going to be using the channel name tables. Underneath, we need to choose whether it's going to be a static or dynamic. A dynamic would mean that every time a message comes in, it would just add a new message under the previous one. A static would replace the existing message. So I'm going to type static, followed by 2 double dots, and then I'm going to click on the plus symbol, and then I'm going to choose tables available. So I've told it it's going to be a static message, and I'm going to be monitoring my tables available. We can then type in the start date if we wanted to, and the end date. Both of these are optional. We can add in the quantity, especially if we're doing inventory. We can choose how many messages to have in the channel. And then lastly, we can choose the message data. If I wanted to bring in the total number of tables, tables booked and tables available, I would need to type in total for the amount of tables available, double dot, then click on plus, and then total tables, and then I would do booked, again double dot, tables booked, and so on. But in this case, all I actually want to bring in is my available. So I just want the one word to appear with the table number. So I'm going to call it available, and then I'm going to choose tables available. So on my screen, it's just going to have available and the number will appear. Now that I've done that, I can click continue. And again, if I click test step, it's going to check that everything is working correctly. I have no error messages, so I can now click publish. That is now going to publish that Zap. Now that the Zap is published, we need to make our way over to our digital signage platform and tell it to look for that information. If you want to create a new creative or new presentation, we can simply move to the right-hand side and click on the blue Add button. I can then choose from one of the many templates that I can edit, or I can click Fresh Start with a blank page. So I'm going to go blank with a fresh page. And then the next thing I'm going to do is add a background image. So I'm going to choose an image. And I'm just going to make the image go across the whole of the screen. And I've already uploaded my picture previously, so I'm just going to choose the image on the right hand side. So it's a menu on the screen here, and then what I would like is on this green tab here is the information of how many tables are available, so my servers can see it very, very easily. So now that I've got my canvas how I would like it to look, I need to move over to the right hand side, make sure I'm on the canvas tab, and if I scroll down to the bottom where it says preview, click load preview parameters, and at the bottom we've got API integration. So I'm going to click on that to change, and I'm going to click add because we're going to add a new API. We're going to leave it as API and we're going to give it a name. And again, I'm going to use exactly the same title as tables. The next thing we need to do is give it the URL to use. So the URL is made up of different parts. So I've just added mine in. And to show you what makes up the URL, I'm going to go to the very beginning of my URL so you can see. So the first part where it says https support.onsignage.com, that is the URL of my digital signage. So that's where I've got to go to log in. You then need to put / catalog and finish with the G / and then we're going to use the same code that we used within Zapier when we joined our NoviSign app to Zapier. We're going to add that in, and then it'd be / You're then going to put in items group / and then the last word tables. That's where we're going to add our channel name. So whatever you've called your channel name, if you remember, if I go into Zapier, there's a channel name. That's what you need to type in as your last word. I'm going to set my refresh to 4. And then if I come down, I'm just going to do the property key, and I'm just going to type in the word available, and I'm going to click test. So it's going to run through the test. We can see it's seeing the API. So I'm going to click save. I'm now going to click OK. So we've now added the API into our digital signage platform. Now we can add it into our canvas. So to do this, we're now going to choose a text box and we're going to drop it in, and I'm going to put it into the middle there. If I click into it, it opens up all of the normal options we have for our text box. So I'm actually going to make the text white to follow our theme. And I'm also going to make the text a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go with 56. There we go. The next step will be to write the $sign. And then we're going to put a bracket on. There we go. And then it's going to open up the compose JSON file. I'm going to click inside, and we're going to choose custom API. I'm going to choose the available, and then I'm going to choose the number and the data. So it will look very similar to how mine does. And I'm then going to click apply. Doesn't look great until we click outside. And now I can make my box a little bit bigger. And we can now see there are 34 tables available on my canvas. So it's now ready for me to add in to my slideshow. But there is one further step we need to make. We have to tell the player that there's going to be an API. Now, depending on the player that you've got, there are a couple of different methods. The easiest method to use will be to save your presentation. Okay, and we're going to come out of here and we're going to go up to the top where we see our name, and we're going to go to advanced settings, and we're going to go to configuration, because what we're going to do is create a configuration file that we're going to send to our players. So I'm going to click on new configuration, and then I'm going to give it a name. So I'm just going to call this one Zapier. And then I'm going to scroll down the page, and we've got to go quite far down. And then this is the one we want, just above web browser, and it says click to change. So I'm going to tick it, click to change it, and then exactly as we did before, we're going to click add. We're going to give it a name, and we're going to follow exactly the same details that we added within our canvas. So again, exactly the same URL. I put refresh at 4. I typed in available as my key, and then I'm going to click test. And as we can see, it's brought in the data, and I'm going to click save. I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to click update. So it's now saved that configuration. So we're nearly done. And the last step will be go return to Studio. We're going to go to our screens, and there's my screen. And then we're going to click on the 3 dotted lines, and we're going to set configuration. There's my configuration, and I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click OK, and it's now going to send that configuration file to my screen, and you'll see a little message pop up to say it's been downloaded, and then you'll be able to see your live data changing on your screen whenever you update your API, or in my case, whenever I update my Excel spreadsheet. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video on automating workflows within Zapier. Thank you.